My name is Erin Beckloff, and for my limited literature review, my research topic is typography education in undergraduate graphic design programs. Currently, I am a graphic design educator at Miami University and have had the opportunity to teach an Introduction to Typography course for the first time. I will begin teaching that class in the coming academic year. For this reason, I wanted to explore this topic to become a better educator of typography. I also want to join the academic dialogue about how it's being taught and what graphic design professionals and academics are saying. So, how is typography being taught? How does the integration of traditional practice, role of craft, and impact of technology affect typography education in contemporary undergraduate graphic design programs? A primary source of reference I am using is Stephen Heller's collection of essays from The Education of a Typographer. In his introduction, Teaching Typographic Fluency, Heller proclaims, "Type is the single most important graphic design element, and typography is the most consequential course or set of courses a student can take as an undergraduate." In his column in Applied Arts magazine, Canadian graphic designer, calligrapher, and type designer Rod MacDonald references the immense changes in technology that have occurred over the last 25 years. MacDonald states that the type world has undergone more changes in the past generation than at any time since Johannes Gutenberg's day. For hundreds of years, Gutenberg's movable type remained the method for printing and communication. The changes in design, especially in the last 25 years, also known as the paradigm shift, since the creation of the computer and onset of the technological revolution, is a factor educators of typography continue to debate. From my concept map, I'm focusing in on 4 categories for typography education, and those include craft, education, tradition, and technology. Graphic design educators make numerous references to typography as a craft and the practice and craftsmanship required of designers to be skilled in the use of type. Alan Haley, director of Words and Letters at Monotype Imaging, in his essay Unlearned Typography, he states, "The craft of typography is little more than the combination of 3 very simple things: attention to detail, common sense, and visual acuity." Designer and design historian Paul Shaw believes typography is first and foremost a craft. It is still something that needs to be learned, not just intuited. Shaw's method for teaching typography at Parsons and SVA, as explained in his essay Teaching the Parameters, is to intertwine practice, history, and theory in that order. Sean Adams, an instructor at the Art Center College of Design, references handcraft. But typography is a craft, and the quality of a finished piece is often dependent upon a skilled typographic hand. Typography, like all graphic design, is a tightrope walk between discipline and freedom. How much discipline compared to how much freedom is being implemented in typographic education? Leslie Becker, professor and former director of design at California College of the Arts, describes education as the ability to think and act well in a variety of currently unknown typographic circumstances. With the onset of the digital revolution, it seems like so many of us are learning to design and teach and work and explore these unknown circumstances of design, especially in typography. Stephen Heller describes typographic fluency. Fluency means having the ability to draw from a reservoir of knowledge and experience in order to make considered choices, which is the paramount result of good education. Dr. Shelley Grundler promotes the encouragement of all typographic instructors to assess how they learned typography and then to use that knowledge to focus on the learning of typography and not the teaching of it. Under the category of tradition, Heller mentions the idea of a new pedagogy promoting the typographic equivalent of abstract expressionist art. His essay was written in 2004. He believes that this new pedagogy rejected any method that seemed antiquated, including the valuable aspects of tradition. That so-called obsolete handcraft, acquired by setting type the old-fashioned way, actually taught students the idioms and vocabularies of type. He goes on to discuss how learning to actually draw letters or compose type on a page by hand was deemed unnecessary. so students bypassed basic typographic apprenticeships, where they would have learned the subtleties of composition and now currently go directly to studying their type using design programs like InDesign. Rod McDonald states, "We have to find ways to integrate the methods of the old trade shops with the new realities of the digital age." Almost all of the references and resources that I have found so far for my limited literature review have made comments about technology and its impact on typography and graphic design. Grundler states that graphic designers must improve their typographic knowledge, as there is far more evidence of bad type than of good. As multilingual issues increase, along with rapid technological changes, awareness through experience is imperative, and this begins with education. There is a need for integration of old and new methods for teaching typography in undergraduate design programs. Sean Adams describes it in these two parts. The same skills taught throughout history, addressing issues of structure, form, hierarchy, meaning, and context, must be integrated with a priority on expression, experimentation, process, personal understanding, and willingness to be subversive. Combining of these often alternative ideas is a challenging task, but one that I hope to pursue as an educator and throughout my research for my limited literature review.